Senator Booker, a couple of questions I want to ask you too about what's going on in the United States. First thing, let's talk about immigration and your stand there with the whole situation with DACA.
Well, I'm happy to hear some progress is being made. There are negotiations going on, and the president himself has said what a tragedy it would be to send young people who've been out here pretty much their whole life, came here to have very little memories of their home country, serve in our military, serve as teachers, our PhDs, our MDs, our JDs. These are folks who are contributing to our economy, part of our culture. They're just as American as you and I, first responders. We've got to find a way to make this work. I'm sorry that this has been thrown into a crisis. We saw some court action today that cast a shadow over what President Trump did, but I have a lot of optimism that we're going to get this resolved.
And President Trump, you see, is trying to work with everyone. He had that open meeting.
I was very encouraged. Anytime you see Republicans and Democrats sitting together, you've got a hope for our country. We've got to remember, in this nation, the lines that divide us are nowhere near as strong as the ties that bind us. There's no left way or right way to get America to move forward. There's only one way, which is moving forward, and the way we do that is do it together. So let's hope that there's more of a spirit of bipartisanship and working together. I know with Doug Jones in the Senate, he carries that spirit with him. I've seen him in the just first hours of his time in the Senate, reaching out across the aisle. He is trying to work with everybody for Alabama, and that's why I'm coming to love him even deeper.
That's a great guy. Rumors circulating that you may be looking to run in 2020. What do you say about that?
I say it's too soon to even talk about that. My focus is this year. We've got big midterm elections. I think that it's premature to start talking about what's going to happen in 2020. I'm up for re-election then, and that's where my thoughts are now, but we'll see when we get past November.
Now, people are also talking about Oprah running.
She's a dear friend of mine, and she is more phenomenal than most people think she is from afar. I've seen her. She's a great manager, a great businesswoman. She's just an extraordinary human being, and she is one of those people that reminds us that we are spiritually bound as a people, that this tribalism is wrong, that the way we treat each other sometimes just because we're different political parties is wrong. She's one of those voices that I hope we have more of. It becomes a chorus in our country, reminding us of our common sense of purpose, the common ground which we share, and the common aspirations we all have for our families, for our communities, and for our country.
All right, last question I have for you. You were down here just a couple of months ago looking at some of the issues we have with the leaks down in the 8 Mile area. What did you think about what you saw?
Well, look, I saw things that were offensive to my conscience here in Alabama, as well as across in every state. I've been everywhere from Tallahassee to Uniontown to here, Africatown, and seeing environmental wrongs, corporate villainy that's just wrong, people being poisoned. And that's not just an Alabama thing, it's a thing that's happening in New Jersey. I was down in North Carolina and Louisiana. You see this all across this country, and we have to have a more collective sense of purpose to deal with the environmental crises we have in these communities where people are literally being poisoned. I'm upset that we don't have a sense of common urgency. These are our children, these are our elderly folks who are living in toxic environments created often through corporate villainy. And on top of that, I'll tell you, when I was in Lowndes County, when I was in Uniontown as well, not having proper sewage systems, I mean, this is the United States of America, and we have tropical diseases in places like Lowndes County that most doctors don't think exist in the United States of America. And so there's an urgency. One of the first things I talked with Doug Jones about, I said, I'm a New Jersey senator, but I'm willing to help you with some infrastructure support so that nobody should have raw sewage running up in their backyard or straight pipes coming in. That should not, in 2018, in the United States of America, the wealthiest country, that is not a matter of can we do something about it. It's a matter of do we have the collective will. So I hope between Senator Shelby, who's a friend of mine, Doug Jones, who's enthusiastic, energetic as all get out right now to get things done. The injustice in Lowndes County is an offense to America, and I may be a New Jersey senator, but I bleed a little bit Alabama because my roots are down here in Alabama as well. My family was coal miners in the Birmingham area before they moved up to Des Moines. So I owe a debt to this state, and I'm going to help to address those environmental injustices.